Hey guys, it's CrystalRenèe here. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, thanks for joining. In this video, we're going to be talking all about my Aglaonema Maria. Stay tuned. But first, I'd like to take this time to acknowledge Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on his day. And I'd also like to show my gratitude and appreciation for his work with the Civil Rights Movement and his contributions to humanity.
All we say to America is be true to what you said on paper. If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
Thanks again, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., for all you've done. Now back to our scheduled program. I first introduced you all to my Aglaonema Maria in my Plants from A to Z series, which was not that long ago. But she has been in my care for some time now, and I feel a little bit comfortable about giving some care tips. Aglaonemas are native to tropical and subtropical regions, such as Asia and New Guinea. They come in many different varieties, but in this particular video, we're going to be talking about the Aglaonema Maria. This particular variety is a bit different from the rest. It's green with a white center, not to mention its bright and glossy foliage. The Aglaonema is also referred to as the Chinese evergreen. Now let's get into these care tips. The frost hardiness level for Aglaonemas is very high. They practically can survive the winter. When it comes to light, Aglaonemas prefer partial shade to deep shade. So please avoid any bright, indirect sunlight or full sunlight as much as possible. Now let's talk about soil. When it comes to the soil for your Aglaonema, it prefers moist and free draining soil. So what I like to do with my soil, I like to mix in some orchid bark and a little bit of perlite. That way, when you water your plant, it doesn't leave it soaking wet and it can drain free and leave your soil moist just as needed. Speaking of water, this aglaonema needs frequent watering. It does not like to be dry at all. So please check your soil at least once a week to make sure that the soil isn't completely bone dry. This will make your aglaonema sad. As I mentioned before, aglaonemas like their soil to be moist. From my experience of having this Aglaonema Maria, I can say it is somewhat a fast grower. It has grown multiple leaves since I've gotten her. I've only had her for a short time now, and it seems like every time I look at her, she is blooming a new leaf. At the moment, she has one on the way. In my opinion, Aglaonema Maria is one of my favorite aglaonemas there is. I just love the texture, the color pattern on the leaves, and I like how on the back of the leaf it's completely green. And as you can see here, I do miss my aglaonema from time to time, and I think she enjoys that. I do want to throw in one thing when it comes to lighting. I know that aglaonemas prefer partial to deep shade, but I have my aglaonema sitting in my southwest facing window, not directly, a little bit off to the left so that it's not directly in front of the window, but it gets plenty of light there. And at one point, I did have it sitting directly in the window, and I didn't see any harm that was caused to the plant, but it did grow rather fast. So when I say no bright sun, I would say no bright direct sun. I think medium light is okay. Now that I've said that, if you have any issues with yellowing on your leaves, again, you may have to check the soil just to see if you're overwatering or underwatering. Those two things can cause yellowing. I always like to mention that I am not a professional. The tips that I'm giving you are just what I do here in my home. You can or cannot follow, but this is what I do and it is what's working for me. If I have missed anything that I should have mentioned in this video, or if you have any other questions about the Aglaonema Maria, please feel free to comment below and I will do my best to answer all your questions to my knowledge. Well, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you can use any of the tips that I've given you for your aglaonemas at home. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to click the bell so that you'll never miss a post from me. Until next time, happy growing. But before I go, I would just like to take a moment of silence to observe the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Hey, don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms. And until next time, Happy growing.